Good evening, viewers. We are today starting with the last part of the hygiene chapter, the remaining part of the hygiene chapter. And after this, we will discuss the question answers on this chapter. Okay. So, uh, in my last video, I discussed about the disease, the vectors which cause the spreads the disease through any kind of disease which can be spread by vectors. Okay. And that to control them, we should maintain a hygiene. That we have discussed in our last video. Okay. So today we will discuss the contamination of water and waterborne, some of the waterborne diseases. We will discuss three types of disease. One is dysentery, another is hepatitis, another one is cholera. Okay. So three types of diseases we will discuss, which are caused by in contamination of water. Okay. So before I start, I would request you to please do subscribe my channel if you have not subscribed yet, and if you are a new viewer to my channel. And if you are liking the video, press the like button, share with your friends so that they can also be benefited from these videos, and do meditate before you start your day. Okay. So let's start with the video with a short meditation. Okay. So for that, please concentrate on a point of light. Think that light is falling on you. You're experiencing as if you are energized, feeling very light, but still you are in a joyful mood. You're feeling that you can study a little more. You can retain your mind a little more. And you are doing that and reciprocating in your paper a little more. And at the end of the day, you're getting appreciation for your hard work. Thanking God, we will stop the preparation here and start with the discussion. Okay. So let's start. That is contamination of water and waterborne disease. So what is contamination mean? Contamination means unwanted entry of disease-causing germs into drinking water or edible foods. So what we eat or what we drink, that water or that food, if it is infected by any disease-causing germs, okay, that is that if a disease-causing germs have entered and infected it, then that is known as contamination. This contamination occurs in several ways. Okay? First way is if the sewage disposal is leaking into the subsoil, which might contaminate the underground water supplies. The underground water supplies which we have, the pipes and all those, if that or water table where the water stays in the ground, okay, there if their sewage disposal is entering into that underground level water, leaking, right? Leaking into the subsoil. Then what happens? That underground water becomes contaminated, might get contaminated. Okay? Then defecation or urination near lakes, rivers, or ponds. Okay? So we have seen in many village areas, okay, people defecate or urinate near the lakes, rivers, or ponds. Okay? That can also contaminate water. Then animal wastes and washings from dairies, poultries, etc., draining into the water bodies contribute to the contamination of the water. That is, the animals defecating or they are urinating or the washing of the dairies, dairy industries, poultry farms. Okay, from there the washings what which comes out that are drained into the water bodies. That contaminates the water bodies. Okay, the three ways in which the water bodies get contaminated. One is sewage disposal, another is people defecating or urinating near the rivers, lakes, that is near the water bodies, or animal waste and washings, which are from the dairies and poultries, that also are causing the contamination of the water. Okay. Next is, another contamination way is there, that is variety of industrial and agricultural waste that also causes that has some poisonous chemicals which are harmful to the human health. That also sometimes, or that also when they are drained out of the industries or agricultural waste, that also contaminate the water bodies. Okay. Now, some examples are mercury in the industrial waste causes abnormalities in the nervous system. Okay. Morning in the mercury, which is coming out of the industrial waste that causes abnormalities in the nervous system. Leather industries that releases tannery waste containing bacillus bacteria that causes anthrax. So the leather industries that releases tannery waste, okay, that also contains some bacteria in it, which causes anthrax. Okay. Next is pesticides. DDT and other pesticides which are used on the uh, farm, inside on the farm or some places where so that the germs are not spread. So, but that causes also harm to the water bodies if they are drained. So when they are washed or when rain is occurring, then what happens? Those DDT and pesticides, they dissolve in that water and they are flowing into the water bodies, thus contaminating it, which can cause cancer in humans if used in more concentrated way. That is, if the concentration of these pesticides and DDTs increases, that can cause cancer in humans. Okay? Then drinking water containing fluorides, which causes, if the drinking water which contains fluorides, then what happens? It will cause tooth and bone disorders. And if the concentration increases, if more amount of fluorides are there in the drinking water, then it can cause neuromuscular disorders, which may lead fatal to life. Three common waterborne diseases are cholera, dysentery, and typhoid. Okay? Cholera is an infection of the intestinal tract caused by Vibrio cholerae. It's a bacteria. Okay? Cholera is an infection which is caused in the intestinal tract. Intestinal tract, we have the intestinal. So in that tract, if there is infection due to a bacteria which is known as Vibrio cholerae, then it can cause cholera. Okay? The symptoms are severe diarrhea, vomiting, and dehydration, which is caused by shortage of water in the body. Okay, why the shortage of water in the body, no urination, urination stops. Okay, and accumulation of urea in the blood. In severe cases, what happens? Urea, as we are not urinating, waste is not getting out of our body. Water shortage takes place inside the body. Then urea inside the blood accumulates, which becomes highly poisonous, and it can cause even death. Okay. Now, what is the cause of this contamination and why this cholera is caused? Okay. The cholera is caused due to the contamination of water, dust, even transfer of germs by flies. Okay. When the flies sit on the excreta or the feces, and then they sit on the exposed foods, they can contaminate the food. They transfer the germs from the excreta to the food. That can contaminate the food. The dust particles which are blowing, that can contaminate the water bodies, as well as if the food is exposed, the water is exposed, that can contaminate that water or the food. And contamination of water is also there. So these all cases these all cases are the causes of cholera. Okay. And even transfer of germs from food handlers with dirty hands. If the people who are supplying the food, okay, cooked food or ready-made food which are to be eaten, okay, so that food, if the person who is handling those food does not wash his hands and his hands are dirty, then that food can be contaminated. Okay. Next, we come to dysentery which can be of two types. Okay, that is bacillary and amoebic dysentery. Bacillary dysentery is caused by a bacterium which is known as Shigella. Okay, and amoebic dysentery is caused by Entamoeba histolytica. It is a protozoan. It is caused by Entamoeba histolytica. Okay. Bacillary dysentery is frequently among children, whereas amoebic dysentery occurs in the poorly sanitated areas where there is contamination of drinking water and food with feces. In tropical areas, this happens. It can happen to any age group, okay, but where there is poor sanitation, okay, and there is contamination of drinking water and the food, especially with feces. So that time, what happens? This amoebic dysentery can occur. Then symptoms of bacillary dysentery, that is loose motions, that is diarrhea, intestinal pain, and mild fever. Okay, that can be treated with antibiotics. And in this amoebic dysentery, the symptoms are cramping and diarrhea. That is cramping pain we have in the stomach, and diarrhea is there. Bloody stools can occur. Fever can also occur. And in rare cases, liver abscess conditions can also occur. Okay. Even fever, fatigue, and loss of appetite can also occur. It is treated with antibiotics, antiparasites, and self-care. Then how do we prevent this bacillary dysentery? Bacillary dysentery is prevented by drinking safe or boiled water. If we drink safe or boiled water, we can prevent what? Bacillary dysentery. Eating covered food. The food should be covered, which we have to eat. Okay. Then eating purified or uncontaminated food. Food which is uncontaminated or it's purified, that type of a food, if we eat, that can also prevent this bacillary dysentery. And in case of amoebic dysentery, for prevention, we need to be carefully hand washing. Okay, we should wash our hands carefully with soap and water after using our toilets or handling some soiled diapers. When we change the diapers of the small children or old age people, then we should wash our hands very nicely, carefully with soap and water, or if we go to toilet, use our toilets, and then also we should wash our hands with soap and water. And proper disposal of the sewage. Sewage disposal should be properly maintained. Okay, so these, if we do, then we can prevent amoebic dysentery. Now, I told you that Entamoeba histolytica causes amoebic dysentery. So this amoeba looks like this one. Entamoeba histolytica looks like this one, which has a pseudopodia, the nucleus, and it has some blood cells. Now, it enters the human body through contaminated food and water. Entamoeba histolytica that enters our body through contaminated food and water. It gets established in the lining of the large intestine. The large intestine gets established, feeds by engulfing the RBCs of the patient's intestine. It engulfs the RBCs of the patient's intestine, the person whose intestine has been affected, that person's RBC, which is present in the intestine, that is engulfed by this protozoa. Okay? It does not have contractile vacuole, and it has a large blunt pseudopodia. One large pseudopodia it has. It forms cysts when fully mature and then pass out with the feces. Okay, when fully mature, it forms cysts. That is, it gets covered with a hard covering and it passes out of the body with the feces of the infected person. Okay? These cysts remain active for a long time. And when they reach a new host through contaminated food and water, okay, cysts, they split and thus infect the individual. Okay, the cysts, they will split and infect the individual. Okay? Next disease which we come to is hepatitis. This is what hepatitis. Itis means inflammation. Hepati, that is known as hepat, that is known as what? Liver. Okay. So, inflammation of the liver. Okay. So, what happens? Inflammation of the liver, hepatitis, that can be of three types. Okay, hepatitis A, B, and C. Hepatitis A, that is transmitted through contaminated water, and B and C, both are transmitted through blood and other body fluids. Okay. Next, we come to the symptoms of hepatitis. In general, body ache, eyes yellowish, deep yellow urine due to the bile pigments. Okay, the bile pigments, liver is not functioning properly. So the bile pigments, they will come out. Okay, and that due to that, what happens? Urine becomes yellow. Okay, and the eyes are yellowish and enlarged liver is there. Okay. How do we prevent this hepatitis? By hepatitis vaccine, proper hygiene, avoid taking fat-rich substances. Fatty food we should avoid. Okay. So, this is all of this chapter. Okay. In my next video, we will discuss some important questions on this chapter. Okay, from the one or two videos will be there for this question answer discussion. Okay, and after that we'll start with another new chapter. Okay, so till then, if you have any doubt, please do write in the comment box. You can also write it at my email ID kasturi74@gmail.com, KASTURI kasturi74@gmail.com. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do subscribe. Or if you are a new viewer to my channel, and if you're liking the videos, press the like button, share with your friends so that they can also be benefited from these videos. Okay, and do meditate before you start your day. Okay, that will increase your concentration power. Okay? So thank you for joining and have a good day.